What's up, everybody? It's Carpo. I don't even know if this video will upload. My last three haven't uploaded. Can't convert it some reason. But anyway, it's good enough. I'll give it a shot. I appreciate the finer things in life. And when I say that, I don't mean like fancy shit. I mean kicking back with my friends, chilling out, relaxing with the family, watching a sunset, a nice bowl of herb, or a tasty snack or a meal. All of these things are fun, enjoyable parts of life. And a cup of tea, you know, just some regular black English breakfast tea. To me, that's a fine thing. The more our perceptions tell us that, you know, we've already been exposed to this, we need to move to something finer, is how we get to these snobby rich people who think that they can identify a fine wine. The same ones that that mistake a $5 bottle of wine for a $5,000 bottle, because it's almost as if the brand names of things and the ideas of what the things are become more important than the things themselves. And so what I've discovered when thinking about this is I think more people need to get involved in doing their own thing. And I mean, instead of relying on other people to make our products, to grow our food, our herb, to depending on other people to find cures for our illnesses, things like that, we depend way too much on society at large and science and pharmaceuticals. Many of us are too lazy to do our own work on anything. And I know that I have my own. I gotta say, one of my shortcomings is that I have a hard time sticking with one thing for a long time and making it a regular thing, and really going all the way with it. On the other hand, I'm open to many different things, and it's in my nature to explore many different paths. And I get bored with one thing, so it can be a benefit, but it can also be a detriment. But as far as the beneficial side of it, it allows me to explore and see so many different sides of life and give me a sense of satisfaction for the things I've done. Now I'm going to give you a few examples. I'm sipping this tea right here and it tastes great. If I had made this tea, if I'd grown this tea myself, I would be like so much more into it. It would be so much finer to me. I have tobacco growing behind me, ceremonial tobacco. If I were to use that tobacco, it would be special to me. I harvested a bunch of carrots, broccoli, peas, lettuce and kale and cucumbers and a whole bunch of stuff the other day. All of these things to me hold power and energy beyond anything I could ever buy from the store, anything that the finest farm could ever bring to my door. A good example for some might be that box that you made in shop class in high school, the one that you spent weeks on that ended up looking like hell, but you still carry that thing around with you because it's such an important part of you, because you're proud of it. It doesn't matter how beat up it looks, and you show it to people and you say, yeah, it's a piece of crap, I know, but inside you feel proud about it. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's just like someone who grows the finest vegetables or the finest cannabis. You know, when people buy the cannabis, they might say, this is fantastic, and they'd be like, oh, it's okay, because people are humble, have humility in the things that they do. Some people are really good at what they do. I mean, a person who's good at one thing. Some people, all they do is one particular thing, and they're very good at it, and they deserve reverence and respect for that, because it gives them that pride to continue on and keep trying. On the other hand, someone who doesn't maybe put in a full day's work in one subject, but is a jack of all trades, such as like me, I may not really get any particular credit in any one field, but in my own mind I feel satisfied because I don't feel like I need credit from the world. In other words, some people delve into, let's say, a line of work or scientific study and they go really deep into that, and then they earn respect in their field. My field is the field of life, so I can't really, you don't win Nobel Prizes and, for just philosophy and thinking. It's, but I guess what I'm getting at is that we need both types, all types. Those of us who are philosophers can't sit and point and laugh at people who are worker bees, as you might want to say, or sheeple, or the people who make things happen. These people don't deserve any less respect than anyone else. And likewise, we have people who are very hard workers, who are really detail-oriented and specific, and they make good money and they do well, and then they point down on people who maybe are philosophers, who, like, you're wasting your time by thinking. But many of the ideas that are used by these people have been thought by the thinkers, as well as many of the things that the thinkers use in order to live their lives are brought by the doers. Okay? So I'm going to try to rephrase this. We all know that there's a lot of people who maybe live off of friends and family, or people who don't really do anything or contribute anything, who maybe suck off the system or suck off friends. And what they give back in return can be so much more than anything material. As far as a person who's maybe who travels the world, who asks for help from family and friends because it's what they do. They can bring back all these ideas, excitement, stories, personality, but it all comes down to money. How much money can you bring to the table? To a lot of people, that's what the world that we live in is based on, is money. And so when people see that folks aren't making money, nothing a person says or does seems to justify it or help people get over that. To put it another way, if you're not holding your weight, if you're not pulling your weight, then you're a loser in the eyes of society. But I see it differently. I see that these people who maybe aren't contributing now, these often in my life have been the same people who, when they have plenty, they give it all. And when they have nothing, they don't take more than they need, if that makes sense. And that's a very important thing to remember, is that wherever a person's at right now in their life, it doesn't mean that they're always going to be that way, and it especially doesn't mean they've always been that way. I know a lot of people right now who are maybe not doing too well, or they don't have very much to their name, but at one time they were making tens of thousands of dollars and giving cash away, and whether they were a dealer or whatever they had going. I know people who had good money. I know at one time I had good money. I was making 40 to 50 bucks an hour. At one time I was making up to 60, 70 bucks an hour building cabinets for this rich guy up in the hills. I loved it, and now I dropped back down to 20 bucks, and now I can't even do that, so I'm back down to 12 bucks an hour, and I'm not working at the moment. So I've had a taste of a little bit of money, not a lot. That's not rich by any means, but when I had it, just like when I used to have a lot of pot, when I grew a lot of weed, I would give it all away. I give a lot of it to people, and it's in my nature to want to share. But at the same time, I have a limit. I'm not one of those people that just gives everything away. And the reason why is because the things that I do have, that I have worked for, I don't feel like I should be obligated to give more than I want to give, in other words. I'm not going to fool myself with the old, I had a friend when I was 18. Actually, I think he died of an overdose or killed himself or something recently, but when I was about 18, 19, he lived with us, and he was, I think, a little younger than me, or maybe a little older. Can't quite remember. He was living with us for a while at the house, and he moved out. Said he was going to go join the Hare Krishnas, become a Hindu, I guess. At that time, all I know was Hare Krishna. It was all I could remember. I don't know if that's, I think that's what they call themselves. I know they chant Hare Krishna, but anyway, I was surprised because he left his boxes of stuff, everything he had. And we went through, and I found like a little poem, like digital organizer. I was like, wow, it was so cool back then. They didn't have, Palm Pilots or anything yet. And a bunch of books and some stuff. One of them was called Understanding Yourself. It was about, I think it was by Chris Butler, I think was his name, and it was talking about reincarnation and whatnot. And I still have the book. But anyway, the point to that was that I'm not one of those people who feels like I have to go to this extreme extent to give everything away, because that's what he did, and it didn't work out for him in the end. But we need to remember that anytime we lean towards one particular extreme or another, it's going to bite us in the ass. But we do need people that are into the extremes, if that makes sense, I hope. We need people who are really extremely into one subject so we can learn from them. But likewise, they have to respect us and we have to respect each other to remember that every contribution is a little piece of the pie. And, to each his own. But to lead back into the finer things, one of the most phenomenal things about being a jack of all trades is you have the ability to do many different hobbies, have many different subjects of interest, that you can do something for yourself. Getting things done yourself is important. And I think that the more society moves towards being independent instead of so dependent, the more we'll start to enjoy our food, enjoy the things we consume, enjoy the things that we do, be part of it, take action, be part of the world instead of just consumers, because consumerism is killing us. I have a tasty nugget to show you. Maybe I could get out in the light, probably be better. This just came off of a, there we go. Look at those calyx on there. Can't tell if it's really catching it because of the camera light. I get down on my knees here. Okay, well this is the best view I'm gonna get. The calyx to leaf ratio on this is just phenomenal. And this just came off. It hardly had any leaf. It was almost like, completely devoid of leaf. Calyx like that, man. This is Crystallica. Crystallica number 2 to be specific. I have 4 phenotypes. Anyway, enjoying the finer things in life for sure, and remembering most of all to appreciate it all, every bit of it, and appreciate each other. Please. Please. I'll stop it right here at 13.